and show your fans than a guy like me talking about it, which doesn't have credibility that it does with video. There's no denying. Nobody's going to say Schultz never slapped John Stossel.
Right.
When you could see him get his ears boxed both sides pretty good. There's no doubting it.
So, Bill, you're not even just a great ring announcer, a great wrestler. You're also known for training some of the all-time greats, one being Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior. What was Hellwig like early on? And were you like, this guy is not making it? Or were you like, this guy's got the goods?
Well, also in that class of students was Sting. Steve Borden was a part of that, along with the Angel of Death, Dave Sheldon, and Strangler Steve DeSalvo were part of that group, and a couple more bodybuilders. There were 6 guys, 1985. Summer of 85, I was involved with Red Bastien training those guys. I didn't, in all honesty, at that time, I didn't see maybe all the potential. Well, I can be honest, I did not see a couple years later Sting and Warrior both being the champions of WCW and WWF. I did not see that in my crystal ball training. It was Red Bastien's school. I was just the main trainer because I was 29 years old. I was pretty damn healthy in those days. Good knees, good back, and I could work with these guys. And I let them really beat the hell out of me pretty good in training them and trying to have 6 big bodybuilders. And Sheldon, who was 6'7", having these guys body slam the hell out of me. It was pretty brutal on my body. But I didn't foresee that Hellwig was going to be the megastar he was. I got to know him and Steve a lot more as time went on. And let me tell you a story, too. A guy named Rick Bassman is the one that was financing Steve and Jim and 2 more guys, Garland Donahoe and Mark Miller. They were these 4 guys. And Rick was breaking them in as Power Team USA or something to that effect, Power Team. 4 big bodybuilders all wearing matching tights. And his dream was to take these guys, all 4, territory to territory, because we still somewhat had the territories in 85. It was just beginning to break up. We had still had Don Owen and Vern and Bill Watts in Tennessee and Eddie Graham in Florida. So Rick wanted these guys to go national. In my mind, as a veteran of just 11 years in the business, I didn't see that happening. I didn't see any territory taking 4 guys. And of course, as I do that, we can instantly think of the 4 horsemen. But I'm not just joking. But no territory was going to just accept, 4 bodybuilders come in. Well, what 4 is going to be laid off? A lot of territories couldn't afford to bring 4 in unless you got rid of 4. Well, what 4 were going to give up their spot? So Steve and Jim, there they are. Steve and Jim came to me in about September of 85, about midway through their training, and said, Bill, we sent some 8x10s, just the 2 of us, to Jerry Lawler in Tennessee. And we have a dream of maybe just breaking off from Rick Bassman and going down south and wrestling. What are your thoughts? We have that as an idea. Or the other thought is Red Bastien wants to sign us to like a 10-year contract and send us to Stu Hart in Calgary. And we met at Gold's Gym in Venice. And I remember it very vividly. Steve and Jim, we sat on a hood of a car and we were talking, and they said, what are your thoughts? And I said, well, 10 years ago, guys, 11 years ago, I worked for Jerry Lawler. Well, it was Jerry Jarrett and Nick Goulas then. And I said, I had a lot of success, and you work every day. You need ring experience. You need workout experience too, but you need experience in front of a crowd. You need to put your holds to use and your moves to use in front of an audience to respond. You need that response to know what's working. And I said, I would go down to Tennessee. I said, your other choice, as you said, was to go to Calgary. Well, here we are in September. Who wants to go to Canada in September and endure the Canadian winter and that snow up there? I certainly would not want to. That's just me personally. And I said, I would go to Tennessee. It's better weather. You're going to work every night. Nothing against Stu Hart. He had a first class promotion and first class man. And I just said, I would do it that way, guys. And they listened to me and they went down and became whatever their gimmick was, the Blade Runners or whatever it was with Lawler. And taking 2 guys in was a hell of a lot different than taking 4 in. So they broke off and ended up leaving our camp a little early and went down to Tennessee. And while we're on the subject of Jim, I want to always say, and I dispel the myth constantly. It doesn't do much good usually, but Jim Hellwig knew how to wrestle. He learned every headlock, takedown, arm drag, drop kick, body slam, top wrist lock, blah, 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 Beal throw that Steve Borden, Sting learned. But the difference is Jim Hellwig's gimmick, he didn't need to do all that wrestling. Vince and Pat had a different idea for his gimmick. The gimmick did not need to be a wrestler. It needed to be a performer, a gimmick, running to the ring, the ropes, all of that stuff, the face paint, everything else. It was different than Sting going an hour with Ric Flair. And I try to tell people it was different. And obviously, Warrior loved that because he was a little stiffer in the ring and didn't have that flexibility to move quite like Steve Borden. Steve Borden would have been a professional athlete and a first-class athlete if he was a pro football player. He could have gone into pro basketball. He could have gone in, as far as I'm concerned, to any professional sport and been a star. Just like they promoted Kurt Hennig years later with Mr. Perfect. Steve Borden had that same athletic ability. Excuse me. Jim Hellwig was different. He was a little stiffer, and I don't mean punching-wise. He was just bodily stiffer in the ring than Steve. But he learned all the holds just the same as Steve Borden did. He had a different gimmick. And you can't say, oh, he was the shits or he was this and that. He drew money. That's the name of the game in the business. Drawing money. You can be, you have to have the package, and he had the package to draw money.
All right, so settle this for me and the Pharaoh here, Bill. Who had the better career, Sting or the Ultimate Warrior?
Oh, my God. Less controversial for sure, Sting. It was different. And again, Sting earned the respect of people because he was working with Ric Flair and going hour Broadways with him or Lex Luger and this and that. Probably Sting. Warrior made a hell of a lot of money, but at what a cost? Because his reputation became really crap. He took a lot of negativity, maybe because of potatoing some guys, and he was green, and he was slower in a way learning the business, the mentality of the business than Sting was. Learning it's a work and learning how to work. And I know that's controversial from what I just said earlier that, he was doing his gimmick. It's just a real tough call with Jim because Jim had a different mental philosophy of always believe in yourself, always be a star and be number one and don't lose, which was a tricky thing there. As I stated earlier, Goes back to that Timothy Flowers thing. Don't lose matches, because if you lose matches, you're a loser. When everybody knows, and Red Bastien used to tell me all the time, I was a champion in every territory I ever went, and I did jobs in every territory I ever went. I lost to Mad Dog Vachon, I lost to Vern Gagne, and yet I was a champion everywhere I ever went.
And Pharaoh wins again. Pharaoh wins the challenge again. Bill, you let me down as I lose to Pharaoh yet again.
You thought I'd say Warrior?
I was hoping you'd say Warrior.
Well,
Bill,
it's a tough call because Warrior's career stopped at different points where Steve's kept going.
Right.
So
Mike,
time-wise.
Bill, I'm sorry, Mike. If I can, real fast, I can obviously tell that you're fond of Warrior, and I can see why. What were your thoughts on his absolutely shocking death the day after getting in the Hall of Fame?
Well, and if you guys remember, and if you don't, go back and listen to it if you can. He mentioned me and Red Bastien on his Hall of Fame speech. He said, I used to watch Billy Anderson and Red Bastien watch us get our asses or our butts kicked during training and all this other stuff. Actually, it was the other way around, really, Jim. It was me getting my butt kicked by you because I let them do all the spots on me. I thought it was one of the saddest things I've ever heard and seen in my life when he died. It was the most ironic situation I've ever seen. It was like Jim was at his own funeral reading his own obituary and his own what do you call it? I don't know. But
eulogy.
Eulogy. I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you.
You're
eulogy.
welcome.
He was reading his own eulogy for those days, going to Raw, and even doing his Hall of Fame speech. He was just as sure as I'm sitting here. He was reading his own eulogy without him even knowing it. He got to go backstage and apologize to Vince, and apologize to Hogan, and apologize to all the workers, DiBiase and everybody else. And some of them apologized back to him because they treated him like shit in the ring too. It was a very sad affair, and it was even sadder, of course, because he had a wife and kids. I knew his previous wife, Sherry, when he first came to LA in '85. I knew her when they were married, and I never met the newer wife. I was never around Jim during that time, but it was very sad, and I was extremely depressed for a long time. And I tell you, I do believe in I don't know how to describe it. I believe in signs of the afterlife and things like that, ghosts and that kind of. I am a believer of that sort of thing. Tell you the strangest thing that ever happened. I was watching Monday Night Raw when Jim was on it that night, and in my bathroom medicine cabinet, of all things, it was just weird. A pill bottle I had of pain medication that I had not used for a long time. It was in case my back got bad. A pain bottle fell out of my medicine cabinet and spilled out all over my inside of my sink. It opened up and spilled the pills out in my sink while Jim was on TV. Nothing ever did that ever previously in my life, in my time of living there. Don't know how that even happened. The bottle was sitting back from the ledge in the cabinet. Yet there it is, falling out, spilling out, just as Jim's talking.
Wow.
And I thought, boy, is that strange. And it was the next day I heard Jim died. I don't know what that all means. I mean, I know he died of a heart attack. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he was, 54 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
He had taken a lot of drugs, a lot of, steroids in his life. I'm sure he had taken his share of pain pills and that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe it was just the largest coincidence of my life that happened. but I'll never forget it happening.
Well, Bill, I want to come full circle and just say the first question I asked you is what your father had thought about you being a professional wrestler. And I just want to leave it with this. Considering the man we just spoke to and considering the history, I'm sure he's a 100% proud of the son that he raised. So God bless you. I want to thank you for joining Monte and the Pharaoh. And if you ever want to come back on, I think we could do plenty of more stuff with you. You are incredible.
Well, thank you guys so much. You're very honorable gentlemen. I would be happy to come on anytime. And let me tell you one thing. My dad always reminded me to be not Bill Anderson, the wrestler, but Bill Anderson, the human being and the real guy. My mom always told me, be whatever you want to be in life. I did choose my mom's version of being me versus my dad's. And I know they're both in heaven, and I know my mom is very proud of me, and I hope the hell my dad is. He always wanted me to be an electrician, and I didn't follow in his footsteps. But I don't know what exciting stories I'd have to tell as an electrician, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if
for some reason, Bill, the way you present, I think you would. I want to thank you again, sir, and God bless you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
All right. See you guys, everybody. 9 o'clock, the great Bill Anderson. Couple things I want to cover, Jimmy.
Yeah.
500 level has now improved on the M&P code. Now go to MP30 for 30% off. Jimmy, I got to tell you something, right? I was at the beach, again, 500 level. If you guys haven't looked at the shirts, right, go to the website. It's incredible. And I got to be honest, right? So it was a little chilly today. I brought the dogs to the beach. I was off work for the Jewish holidays,
today.
right?
It's cold.
It wasn't cold,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I have from 500 level, I have a Roman Reigns sweatshirt. Now, usually sweatshirts are not always the nicest fabric, unless I'm into really nice fabric because I just don't like things up against my skin. So usually I'll get thinner type of shirts, but this is a heavy sweatshirt. The fabric, unbelievable. And you're going to get a deal at 30% off, Jimmy. I mean, my God, it's a no-brainer, guys. I am telling you, once you get one shirt from them, you'll get 50. I guarantee it. And they've got all the sports. Yeah, dude, tell me what you think of it, Jimmy.
They're so comfortable. I got to get a long sleeve now. I'm telling you, I got to, because it was chilly today, especially for a guy who's been in Panama City Beach the last 2 years. It was chilly today, and I love the material. It's so silky. Is that the right word for it? I don't know.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, dude.
It's so comfortable. So, yeah, I got to get myself some leveled long sleeves. That's for sure. 30%.
And again,
off,
it doesn't, they got plenty of wrestling stuff. They got baseball stuff. They've got football. They got everything, dude. MMA. They got it all, man. And I'm telling you, it's very high quality. Again, 500 level code MP30, 30% off. So if a t-shirt costs you $20, what's 30% off on $20, dude?
It's enough. 10 plus another 20% tacked on top. Not much. It's a steal. It's a steal.
I agree. I want to remind everybody too, the Monte and the Pharaoh show, hit the QR code, be willing to check out our shows on YouTube, where we got almost 24,000 subscribers. Go to our Facebook page where we're approaching 27,000 subscribers. And again, if you feel like donating to the show, please go to the Monte and the Pharaoh webpage, hit donate. Helps us bring in more guests. Trying to entertain Jim. We've got the big event coming up, so a lot of good stuff happening right now.